see which one's Shalom, welcome to the Jewish View. My name is Rabbi Nachman Simon of the Chabad House of Dalmar, together with my co-host Mark Ronich of statewide news service and jbiztechvalley.com.
You know, Rabbi, we have a really special guest. I've been wanting for several months to have him on the show, and I'm so glad that he accepted our invitation. We have Angelo Santabarbara. He's a freshman assemblyman, and he's from the Rotterdam, Dwaynesburg area, and in Schenectady County, and he also takes in Montgomery County and Albany County too.
Yeah, a little piece of Albany County.
So it's wonderful to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thanks. It's great to be here. Great to join you. And we took a little while to actually schedule this to get on the show, but I'm happy to be here today. Talk to you about some of the great things that we've been doing in the assembly and some of the great things that have been happening in my district.
And I've seen that throughout the year, and I see that how you're an up-and-coming star, and I really want to have up-and-coming stars so I could say, oh, we knew him when.
Well, thank you for saying that, I guess that remains to be seen.
It remains to be seen. Okay. Well, I'm sure you have a lot of desires and ambitions, so I wish you the best of success with that.
Thank you.
Now, you have, let's see, you served in the U.S. Army Reserves, you had a bachelor's degree from SUNY Albany, and you're a professional engineer.
Yes, correct. I grew up in Schenectady County. We grew up in the city of Schenectady. Actually, my hometown is Rotterdam. So I'm a first generation here in New York. My parents came to New York.
From Italy.
I grew up with my brother. From Italy, yes. They came from a place just south of Rome. Caiazzo was the name of the place. And my parents speak a dialect of Italian that a lot of people in Schenectady spoke at that time in the city. My father worked at General Electric for 30 years. We share a similar story with a lot of families that at that time came to New York looking for a better life for their kids.
You know, it's interesting though. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit, like the normal is that lawyers become politicians, and it's interesting. I don't know how many, but I mean, tell us, going from an engineering degree into going into politics.
That's a good question. I'm asked that quite a bit because you're right. It seems like the engineering profession is you don't see it. A lot of representatives that have that background. But for me, I got into engineering because I liked solving problems, whether it be using technology, engineering solutions. I see this as solving problems in a different way. I relate the two. It's great to have that connection with the technical side and now the policy side as well.
Has your profession, being an engineer, ever helped with legislation specifically? I don't mean engineering legislation, but I mean, have you had to explain on the floor, let's say, the Tappan Zee Bridge and why the Tappan Zee Bridge is engineered the way it is, as an example?
Well, there's certain pieces that I do pick up on that I understand. Stormwater management has been a big thing. DEC has a lot of issues that they bring up, a lot of emerging things they need to address that I have an understanding of from my engineering background. So it is helpful. It's also helpful to have dealt with a lot of local municipalities in my district as an engineer, a lot of planning boards, and a lot of whether it's putting in a water line or putting in wastewater treatment, there's many solutions to the same problem, and I find that that's the same thing that I'm dealing with in the New York State Assembly. There's a lot of different ways to solve a problem.
So you, instead of government speak, you have engineering speak.
Well,
you can relate to the DEC people and then translate it for the average person?
As an example, I guess that's one part of it that I do understand. Like when the CHIPS money came, I know what types of jobs.
That's highway aid.
Highway improvement, and I understand what jobs stem from that, what the investment means, whether it's construction inspection jobs, design work, the material itself.
And you say it with credibility. For example, when Assemblyman Joel Miller, who was a dentist, was in the assembly, and he spoke about dental issues, he was speaking from experience.
Exactly.
And there's Cecilia Katchick's a farmer, and when she gets up in the Senate and speaks about farming issues, agriculture issues, she speaks from experience.
It's good to have firsthand knowledge.
Yeah. More than just attorneys who learn about it secondhand.
Well, nothing against attorneys, but it's good to have a good understanding of all areas that affect our community. Engineering is one that does, a lot of times people don't realize how much the field of engineering is, it makes a difference in our communities, whether it's roads, whether it's, power lines, whether
Or
it's
a
buildings.
Tennessee Bridge, I mean,
structural-
that's a bigger thing, yeah.
Exactly. Those are all
Major
components.
Was that your field as an engineer,
I-
structural, or?
I was a civil engineer, so I dealt more with the land use, land development.
Okay, so it wouldn't be bridges.
No, not too much.
Okay.
No bridges.
All right, and,
Excuse me.
and one of your children, or I don't know how many, but at least one of your children is on the autism spectrum?
Yes, my son Michael was diagnosed with autism at age 3. So my family and my wife and we've been involved with the autism community.
Can you
since-
explain to the audience and to our viewers, what your understanding is of autism, because it's evolving,
Sure,
the understanding
it's
of autism.
something that we're seeing more and more. We're understanding the awareness is a lot better than it used to be.
Is it the awareness, or is there more of a problem? That's always the big issue that I've asked many people.
Well, it's a tough question to answer. I think the awareness has definitely gone up. There's Autism Society of the Greater Capital Region is right in downtown Schenectady. I'm involved with them. I was on their board for many years. I continue to serve with that board, and they do a good job of understanding what the needs are, providing the resources, things that were not necessarily available years past.
So explain, is it just a learning disability? Is it a developmental disability? What sort of?
Well, it's, with my son, he speaks, he has some language, but it's limited. So he goes to special education. So through that, we've gotten involved with what the special education programs are. And for each person, it's different. It's different levels of different diagnosis for different children, and you have to decide what's best as far as education for that
Now,
child.
There's a retiring Assemblyman, Harvey Wiesenberg, from Long Island, who had the banner for the autism banner and the developmental disabilities banner. Are you picking it up now that he's retiring, and you're going to be that special advocate in the Assembly?
Certainly, I will continue to be a strong advocate. Harvey was great to be. It was great to have him there, sort of leading the charge. But on all these issues, I was right there with him. And if it turns out that, hey, I'm going to lead the charge, I'd be happy to do it. I'm a strong advocate for special needs, special education. I want to make sure that our children are getting the programs that they need, because it really makes a difference in their lives, in our communities, to have access to these programs. The children that want to be a part of the community, we want to create those opportunities. We want to take steps forward and not steps back.
Right.
It's taken so long to get to this point. We want to keep pushing forward to make sure that there's more opportunities and there's more ways to get involved in the community with your community, and to figure out what the best way is for children to learn and lead great lives in our community.
Let me ask you this question that moving into more of the how the legislature is set up. The committee memberships. You're on Agriculture Committee, Governmental Employees Committee, Veterans Affairs, Energy, and Small Business Committee. Did you, when you got into the Assembly, after you were sworn in, did you have a form that you filled out that said what committees do you want to be on, and maybe health might have been one of them, or mental health, and then you might have signed those things, but they said, oh, you have to be a more senior member to be on these committees?
Well, I think the process I went through is I requested various committees. Obviously, you request as many as you think would be that you'd be interested in, and you end up getting on some, and some you don't. Some maybe have full membership.
Which ones did you want that you didn't get on?
Well, I don't know.
You don't remember?
I had a pretty long list, actually. So these are some that I'm very interested in, though. Energy makes sense with my engineering background. The farming,
Right.
with the farming in my district, agriculture it makes sense as well.
Right.
Small business, it's a great committee to be on. We have a lot of small businesses in our upstate cities as well as our towns. So they all make sense.
Yes.
Certainly, I would love to be on more committees, because there's other things that you want to have a seat at the table when those issues come up. The Veterans Committee was very, very important to me, having
Well,
served in
you're
our
with
armed
the
forces.
AMVETS. You're the commander at AMVETS Post 35.
I'm in touch with veterans through that organization as well as.
And you just got reelected to that post, right? The
Yes,
commander?
that's
So
correct. Yeah, that's
commander?
great.
Okay.
That's great. Thank you
Well,
for
mazel
mentioning
tov
that.
on that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's veterans issues I think are very important, and that was one of the top priorities for me to make sure that as a veteran, to make sure that I could be on that committee to represent our veterans, not only from from my hometown, but throughout the entire district.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of returning veterans that have issues, and they come to me expressing their concern with certain things, and I want to be able to either, if there's bills that need to be written,
Yeah.
if there's issues that need to be addressed, I make sure that I'm there for
Now, I
them.
have to tell you, Assemblyman Dov Hyken was on the program, and he's not on any committee, and he doesn't want to be on any committees. He's the only one that in the whole entire 150 members body that has no committee assignments and has no desire to have any. So
What are the major
that's a little bit of
issues
trivia
that-
for you.
Major issues that you feel you're but it's a little bit difficult probably because you say right at the beginning you have a few counties that there's farmers, but then there's cities.
Yeah, there's it's a big district. We have all of Montgomery County. We have
Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, the city of Amsterdam is in Montgomery County. A good portion of Schenectady County, and even a little piece of Albany County. So you're right. There's rural areas, there's city areas, there's everything in between. So there's a lot of issues that come up during session and during off session too, because I travel the district quite a bit. I try and make myself accessible and try and listen to people directly. I want people to feel comfortable talking to me and telling
Obviously,
me what the
yeah,
problems
obviously.
are, telling me what the issues are, so that we can address those as best we can in our state government. As far as upstate cities, I have Schenectady and Amsterdam. There's revitalization efforts that have been in progress in downtown Schenectady.
And that's your district, downtown Schenectady?
Yeah,
It's part of
downtown
your
Schenectady.
district?
Yep, it is my district.
Okay, well, you're doing good things down there.
Yeah,
I'll
a lot
tell
of things happening there. We're trying to invest in our neighborhoods now. The downtown area
you. Well, I
has
saw you
gone.
demolished a house. I was there for that. You
Yeah,
did
we were there for the
the land
announcement of the
bank.
land bank
That's right.
program, and that's something that's going to help our upstate cities in Amsterdam as well as Schenectady and neighborhoods to take down some of these abandoned properties and reuse them, make them shovel ready, and invest in our neighborhoods. Make sure that we let the people know that we're doing something about these abandoned houses. You've had your family here. We're going to be there for you. We're going to be right there with you to make sure that we invest money now and bring these neighborhoods back. In Schenectady, we've invested in downtown. We want to invest in neighborhoods. We want to make sure that the community can function as a whole.
And that's true in Amsterdam also, I'm sure.
In Amsterdam, a lot of buildings that need to be demolished.
Now, wasn't the mayor of Amsterdam at that news conference, Ann Thane?
Yes, that's
And
correct.
so she's on this land bank that's joint between Schenectady and Amsterdam?
Yeah, both of them, both
Yeah.
areas are in it,
So
and
there you go. That's
it's an
good for
exciting
you.
thing,
Yeah.
and it's great to see that this, and it's a great program to see this money being put into these programs to figure out what to do with these abandoned buildings and
These are old cities.
they're right.
And, what Amsterdam is called the Carpet City, I believe, or the Rug City or something, because they had all the Mohawk rugs and Mohawk carpet.
And obviously things have changed over the
Sure.
years. There was Schenectady as well. I mean,
it was the Electric City.
industry
all
has
have
changed.
So
but it's great. I'm happy to call this area my home.
Yeah, now which towns in Albany County are you? Guilderland?
I have Bern and Knox, town of Bern and town of Knox.
Okay, now did you know in the town of Bern, we have a Jewish camp called Camp Giva? And if you haven't been there, it's on, it's in the town of Bern. So you should go visit and introduce yourself to the camp director, Dan Scher. And it's a wonderful place. So
Absolutely, I look forward to doing
get
that.
connected with the
Yes,
Jewish community. Yes.
And as I said, it's a big district. So there's a lot of areas.
Sure, you got a few good counties. Yeah.
And I travel across the district, and I try to hit as many places as I can
Right.
along the way. And it is a lot of driving, but it's important that you are out in the community. It's important that people know you're there for them. And the communication is what's important.
We had another assemblyman on here, Pete Lopez, whose district is huge. Goes from, went from Otsego County, on the west all the way to Columbia County. and everything in between. So, and they compacted his district, made it more reasonable, but still, I mean, some districts just have to be wide and have to be long and have to, and are just big, and you
Right.
get to as much of it as you can, and in 2 years. Look, if Chuck Schumer every year gets to every single county, I'm sure getting
Yes.
to every single town and village isn't a problem for you.
Exactly.
And you work hard. Your constituents come first. I don't know about your family, but I think your constituents are really high up there.
And I try and bring my family with me when I can.
Yeah.
I do make time for them as well. It's important that I spend time. I have a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old. My daughter, Mariana, who is involved in swimming. She's involved in soccer. So we try and make sure that we are at those games and those events. And she also sometimes needs help with school, or I make time and make sure that I'm there for my kids as well.
Beautiful.
And a lot of times I make sure I'm home to see my kids off the bus. And spend some time with them as
Now-
well. That's an important piece as well.
You had a measure that, I don't know what the status was of it, but creating a student cabinet to give local youth a voice in education.
Yes, that's
So-
a great. That's
so
a,
as we're talking about your daughter,
Yeah.
let me hear what.
This is a program that we are introducing to my district, where we want representatives from the various school districts across the assembly district to come together a few times a year to talk about issues and hear directly from the students, where it would be like a joint meeting. They can tell us what's on their mind, what they feel the upcoming issues are, how we can help. And it's great to hear it right from students and to have students involved directly with my office. So the communication, again, it's all about making sure communication is open at all different levels. And certainly schools have been a very important issue since I've been in office. They continue to be an important issue as we move forward here. And this student cabinet program, I think, is going to help. It's going to help students have a voice. It's going to help them get involved in what the New York State Assembly is doing, in what state government is doing. And it's a great way for them to learn, and also for me to hear directly from our students.
And,
Well, I know it's interesting. You were saying before that there's so much time, that's on 24 hours a day. But I know a few assemblymen that they kind of chuckled to their fellow colleagues because they were locals. Not in Schenectady, but were in my district, and saying, that at the end of the day, they have to go to a hotel room. He says, sorry, I'll see you later, I'm going home. So in a way, that's at least an advantage for, say, half-hour ride from the Capitol.
We are, I'm fortunate that we are close to the Capitol. 30 or 40 minutes, I could be back in my hometown, back across.
Are you within that circle where you can't get a per diem or something?
No,
or-
I don't. We don't take. We're in the
take-
50-mile. You talk about the radius, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you don't have. the
No,
advantage
no,
of a
and
per diem.
that's again all travel. All of my travel across the district. I use my own
Is
car.
Your own dime and.
So we try and if
Well,
I need to get there, I just go and I get
That
there.
really isn't
Well, you stay
fair.
clean that way,
we
too.
Talk about it, we talk about it many times, Assemblyman, and that's a big issue also. They have a pay raise since, 98 over here? Mark is our reporter, I'm the rabbi. He knows all the information. But that really isn't fair. A normal person, a salesman for a company
Yeah,
would
but they're
get
already earning
per
so
mile.
much, that.
That's
I think this is a great opportunity for me to be in the New York City Assembly. I'm a first generation here. I'm happy to do it. Certainly it's for me. I enjoy listening and helping people and doing what I can to make our communities
You
better.
were in the Schenectady County Legislature before this, or the?
I was, yes.
Yeah. So what was your salary in Schenectady County Legislature?
That was a part-time position, and it was I forget the exact number, somewhere around 13.
13,000.
yeah.
So this is a huge pay raise for him. Look at that.
So
This is
so-
another part-time
You gotta-
job.
The,
This is still
there is fair
part-time.
value. A person traveling around on business day should give you a car and per mileage.
Well, again, I treat this as a full-time job. This is my only
Yeah.
job that I do, and
Okay.
it's important to me to.
If I had an $80,000 job, whether it's part-time or full-time, that would be fine also.
Well, again,
That would be fine.
I'm in it to help our communities,
That's right.
to be a good representative in our
I
state government.
Applaud you for that. That's terrific. Now, you also had a bill that, really, I think, helps proctors and other institutions and venues around your district, called Accelerating the Theater Tax Credit. Is that?
Yes.
It has to deal. Does it help proctors, or is it something where you have where it helps
Well,
with movies?
it's you're talking about the live theater tax credit.
I think so.
It's a program
I think that's what I'm talking
to
about.
involve. There was two things. There was the Empire State Film Credit Program,
Right.
which we extended to our in my district.
Right. And then you had a film made.
And then,
There was a movie producer who came and made a film in Schenectady too.
well, there's several movies
Yeah.
that were involved in Schenectady County. Yes.
Yeah,
So
that was great.
There's, it's all about attracting new jobs to the area, a different kind of job. Film studios certainly would be great to have in the district because those are the kind of jobs that we haven't seen in the past. But certainly want to make sure that people are looking at the upstate cities.
Right. So how's that studio idea coming along?
Well, again, our job was to get the Empire State Film Credit
Yeah.
in place. Now, we haven't heard anything from a film studio as far as progressing
Because they
plans.
wanted to put
But there was
something-
interest.
Yeah.
There was interest, but that's something that we hope will attract a studio at some point. Whether it's in Schenectady or the surrounding areas, it'd be great to have something nearby. Again, we're looking at not only the studio, if the studio were to set down roots in the area. Also, what it would do for the economy, to boost the small businesses that would benefit from that as well.
Absolutely.
Amongst other things as well. It's about boosting the economy, investing money back into the economy. When Place Beyond the Pines, it was the movie that was filmed in Schenectady County. It attracted a lot of business. It added a lot it gave a big boost to the local economy. So it's great to see that kind of activity happening.
Now you're okay. So the live theater, the accelerating the theater tax credit, did that pass both houses, or was that just?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Yes, it did. And
that's
again,
for live
that's,
theater.
That's geared towards live theater, Broadway shows, the teching work.
Which is Proctor's essentially.
Well, it's companies like Proctor's, yes.
Right,
So attracting, encouraging those bigger shows to come to town, because when they come to town, people also come to town to spend money, to boost the local economy. There's jobs created to get the show in place, and that actually, before and after the show, there's a lot of work that happens before and after, and all that adds to the local businesses, to the local economy, and it's all good.
And the tax credit makes it less expensive for these traveling theater troops to.
It's another incentive to take a look at our area, to bring that show, whatever that show may be, to the area.
Does it reduce their cost because at the end of the year they could take it off on their taxes or something? I don't know.
It's an incentive program. It's an incentive program that helps them with the work before and after the show.
But financially, I mean, I hear tax, I hear credit.
Yeah, it's a
so I hear financial.
Again, it's a tax credit.
So
they could take advantage of
off their tax, right? Off their taxes.
off
at
of
the end
certain
the year.
items again, but only the work it's called the teching work that happens before the show.
Yeah.
And some work that happens after the show, pre and post production.
Okay, so it does help reduce the cost, or it could help.
Yes, absolutely.
Reduce
yes.
the cost
Yes.
of the thing. Okay, fine. Okay.
Mark, we're down to a few minutes. There's so much legislation that Angelo is written and passed. Maybe we'll go through a few other things.
Yeah, I want to say a bill to help small farmers that was passed in June, but
Yep, that was a very good bill to try and modernize local farms to help their activity as well. A lot of the equipment that small farms need, sometimes it's not modern equipment. It's equipment that's outdated, and this is a program to help them to kind of update their equipment and do produce more, and again help our farmers succeed. Farming is a big part of our industry.
it's the number one industry in New York State.
Exactly. It's a big, and in my district, there's a lot of farmland, a lot of local farmers that I've met with, and that was a concern of theirs, that they had to invest in the equipment that actually makes a farm operate. So it's great to see that this program is here to help them.
And you were the sponsor of the yogurt being the state snack?
I was a sponsor. Yes, I was
You
a
were
sponsor.
sponsor. You
Yeah,
weren't
there was
the
many
lead.
sponsors.
Who was the lead sponsor on that? Remember offhand?
I don't know.
Okay, but you were one of the main sponsors.
Yes,
prime
that was
sponsors.
what I was happy to sponsor that bill.
Because after it had all the jokes in the Senate, people in
Sure.
the Assembly were sort of reluctant to want to go ahead and.
Well, it was a
and
bill
say-
that I don't think there was it was something that passed through
pretty quickly.
pretty
without-
quickly.
yeah,
It was
'cause
something that, again,
they didn't want to have a redux on Jon Stewart's Daily
oh,
Show.
well, I
What
saw that.
happened
I
with
saw that. Yes. Well, it's the dairy industry, dairy farms, anything that can help our farmers. Like you said, it's the #1 industry.
So, what's your favorite yogurt? Plain? Or
Well, I don't know. I'm kind of
Flavor?
I like the fruits. I like different fruits.
do you like? What's your favorite?
I think
flavor?
a pineapple flavor is good.
Really?
Strawberry sometimes.
Oh,
you
you
know.
got the sweet tooth. Okay.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
It's the berries.
The
you know, mixed
berries, yeah, the
berries,
berries are good, yeah.
Whatever says OU, whatever says kosher on it is my
We're
favorite.
always looking for more kosher products.
That's
on
right.
here, but,
So it's a good
you know,
snack. My kids like yogurt. My son absolutely loves it.
Now, the tuition-free New York.
Yes.
Were you the main sponsor or one of the prime sponsors?
I was
or-
one of the sponsors on that
Okay.
bill. Yep.
And what is that tuition-free New York?
Well, it's a program that's going to it's investing in our higher education. Student debt has been an ongoing problem, and it's actually continuing to be a problem.
I mean, it's a great headline, tuition-free. I mean, but
Yep,
but it's not really free.
It's no, because there's
Okay.
community service involved.
Right.
You'd be required to perform community service, and you're required to stay in New York for at least 5 years after you graduate.
And that's what they do with the medical school program.
Yeah,
in New
and,
York. Yeah.
and what it does is it helps students. It gives students the opportunity to have tuition free if they give back to the community. Their community service while they're in school, commit to staying in New York for 5 years after they graduate. It keeps our best and our brightest here in New York State.
Can only hope.
And it could
And maybe
attract others
maybe
to
get
come.
elected to the assembly.
It could attract others to come to New York as well. And it also makes sure that our students, while they're going to school, they're performing community service. All that money that they would be borrowing, now they're putting back into the economy. They be here in New York, spending that money, boosting local economy. Again, it's about helping economy, helping small businesses at the same time.
Okay, now I got to ask you this question. In May, it says here that you hosted a free electronics recycling event.
Yes.
Do you remember what day of the week you hosted this event?
Oh boy.
Okay, because WNYT, Channel 13, hosts it with Taft Furniture on a Saturday.
Okay.
And they do it one day on a Saturday.
I believe it might have been on a Saturday.
Well, I'm here to ask you to have it maybe on a Sunday.
Okay.
Or have both days, because observant Jews, Orthodox Jews can't go on Saturday. And we also have free recycled electronics to be recycled.
Okay.
And we just throw them out because we can't get to these free
I see,
recycling
I
events.
see.
So we want to encourage the sensitivity on everyone's part to maybe extend it a few hours on Sunday.
And do it
where we
different
can get
days.
there.
Different days.
So we want to add
Yeah, that's
that to
certainly
the-
doable. That certainly
Okay.
can be done. That's not a
Okay.
problem at all.
Excellent. How's that?
Well, we're on the
Plug.
Jewish View. We got to.
That certainly can be done. That's very easy to do.
Something
Yeah.
for the
Okay.
Jewish community.
Very easy to do.
And what's going on with Common Core quickly? I just
Well, there's reforms that we have.
the fight's not over.
We're still
Still
working
fighting?
to make sure that we are that we're on the front. We're working with teachers to make sure that we're putting the brakes on and making sure that we are doing what we can to take the pressure off of students, take the pressure off of teachers. Again, we're working directly with teachers and schools to make sure that we're doing what we can to make these. Basically take the pressure off and roll this out in a better way.
And were you encouraged by the recent results that, with Common Core brought the math and English skills, science skills up like 3 points only?
Certainly, and
Better than 3 points down, but 3
well,
points
when
up?
we're keeping track of all the news and we're responding. We're trying to make sure that we do everything we can to make sure that we give students the opportunity to succeed and not take away from their educational time.
Okay. Anything else you want to bring up?
I just.
Because I could talk to him all day, and I often do. So this is.
You're our reporter. I'm the
Yeah.
rabbi. Well, we brought out the Jewish View, and that's excellent. We just want to conclude. We only have a minute left. You gave me 1 minute to talk.
I give you
We're
1
talking the
minute.
whole show.
Oh, I didn't know. Are we out of
Usually-
time?
That's
No, we're
usually
out
a
of
month.
time.
We're almost out of time.
It seemed like I just got here.
It
So-
goes
We're always
by
having
quickly.
a good time with Mark
Yeah.
and myself.
Yeah.
But we give you always a blessing because that's what a rabbi does. Reporter does
Oh,
the news
okay,
and a
yes.
rabbi gives
Please,
the blessing.
yes.
The Italian Jewish communities were always
Well,
close to
yeah.
each other, and that's known. But in any case, that you're an up-and-coming star, and we wish you the best of success. And if you're in the assembly, then be successful assembly or whatever your heart desires, and do that with good health.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank
Best
you
of
very much.
success.
Thank you. It's great to be on the show.